Hi out there in the YouTube world. This is part 4 of my Zodiac series. And it's going to be all about Cancer. You know? Cancer is ruled by the moon. And it's cardinal. So its energy is like very expressive and outward and like always wanting to take new paths and expressions and ways of seeing things. They aren't fixed and they aren't mutable. They're cardinal. Okay? And they're ruled by the moon. So they're very like nurturing in their qualities. They're very like, they'll be the type to be a stay-at-home mom or a stay-at-home dad. And not in an offensive way. I just mean they're very emotionally, intuitively in touch. But that doesn't mean that they're emotionally stable, because they're connected to the moon, which we know is ever waxing and waning. So it's also changing. And they can be very emotionally sensitive as kind of a negative tone to this, and a little controlling, because they might feel that their nurturing abilities are just, that's how it has to be. You know, they're the type that if you fall, they will kiss your wounds. They will be nurturing. They will take care of you. They're very warm and loving and kind. And the 4th house represents, you know, your home. Your it's your kind of your security blanket. And Cancer rules over that. Keep in mind it is the crab, so it's kind of a negative connotation if you're dating one. If like they cut you out, they cut you out. Like they have a shell. Meaning like if you're in their center, like if you're in their group of friends, which is like in their shell, then they will expose their weak side to you. But if you're not, then you're kind of on the outside of that shell. And they can be very wary and cautious when approaching sharing things, because they understand the emotional realm and they wouldn't want to upset or offend anyone. Just not really because more because of that nurturing moon that's just overwhelming in their chart. And they're a water sign, which is very emotional. And emotion combined with the moon, that's like an emotional mother or emotional father figure, like who's very loving and kind. Like when you personify or put those elements together, like, and no one is just a Cancer. Like if your sun is Cancer, your Mars probably isn't. Your Pluto probably isn't. There's a whole bunch of other elements in someone's chart. But if you have a sun Cancer, these qualities of being nurturing and emotional, and ever waxing and waning like the moon, ever changing with your emotional fluctuations, are going to be a common feature, which you can deny and say, oh no, everyone's emotional. Yes, everyone is emotional. But if you have planets in Cancer, it's going to make you more emotional, because it's a water sign, which governs, like, you know, emotion, pretty much, is the foundation of all of the water signs. You know, and then, yeah, we combine elements of the nurturing moon. So, if you're dating a Cancer person, understand that, like, if they might seem over clingy or distant, depending on your situation, understand that there's emotional ties to it, and that they're sensitive. So, if they're being clingy, it's just because they really like you. And try not to take it too personally that they're just like, nah, attached to you. Nah. And if they're being distant, know that you might have offended them or said something that is wrong, that from their emotional standpoint is valid and just. And if you just try to like come to them from an emotional standpoint, don't be analytical. If it was something that you were arguing about, be emotional and say that, like, you know, even if you have your differences, you understand them from an emotional standpoint, and that you don't want to be fighting So just like, kiss and make up kind of thing. And like that you're sorry and that you didn't mean to offend them. Even if your opinion is still different. Know that like you didn't mean anything personally and that you still think that they're an awesome person. Yeah, and that might get you out of quite a few situations. But, because most of the time it's just about analytical crap of the world that people tend to fight about. Not really what's in people's core. But, mwah, and I will see you in Leo.